I want to begin this by saying this is not a watch review as much as it is a watch trailer or a pre-release teaser for a watch that isn't available yet. It actually launches in less than a week on Kickstarter. And I kind of wanted to highlight it because when I saw it for the first time, I thought to myself, wow, that's a pretty original design. I like what they've done here. They haven't gone too over the top, and they've stuck to a design language throughout the entirety of the watch, which is something I always appreciate. And I wouldn't consider myself a watch collector as much as a watch enthusiast. And this is something I've mentioned before, in that I'm very particular about which watches I add to my collection, and it takes something very either unique, iconic, or special for me to actually consider it, and I'm considering this watch. And part of the reason is because it includes a complication that you don't see in a lot of microbrands, and that's a power meter. Power meters are one of the most underrated or overlooked complications on watches, in that I find them to be one of the most useful. It's an actual complication you could see working. And that's something you don't see with a lot of complications that are far more popular, right? You don't see a moon phase complication working, but you notice it because it's artistically relevant to the watch design. A power meter may not be as artistically relevant, although they've done a very good job in its inclusion in this particular design. But what it does do is actually allow you to see where you're at as far as your power reserve goes. And that's something I can appreciate. It's also something I actually enjoy when I'm winding a watch, and I can watch it wind to full. People quite often ask, and I've seen it so many times on watch groups, how many winds to wind an SW200? How many winds to wind a Miyota 9 series? How many winds to wind an NH series from Seiko? People are always asking these questions, and it isn't a finite answer, really, right? Each watch movement can be give or take a little bit, but with a power meter on it, you know exactly how much it takes to hit full. And it's something I really enjoy as part of the hobby when you do own a watch with a power meter. Now, I don't currently have a watch with a power meter on it. The last one I had was an Orient Star. Eventually sold that. Now I'm looking to add something to my collection, and I'm always looking to add something new.
A symbol of your personality, your story, crafted from myths and legends. A timepiece inspired by the history of humanity. Built to last, designed to reflect who you are. In a world that wants you to be distracted, choose to be present. Choose to be you. Justiniani Watches, where history meets your story.
But as an enthusiast, I've kept my collection down to 6 pieces. That may increase to 8 just for the benefit of this channel, but currently it's at 6 pieces. So for me to remove a watch or sell one in order to make room for a new one takes a lot. And this is a group I'll be looking at. The designer is Ignacio Justiniani. He's out of Mexico, which is kind of new for watches. But he's got a plan in place where he's looking at historical significant moments and building watches based on that. The next release is called the Gilgamesh. He's already had an initial release called the Odysseus, and I take a look at it. I'll have the links below. Till next time.